What's up, everybody? We are here for another episode of Fireflies Forever, and we got a lot to get to. But I want to bring these gentlemen on screen real quick. So this week we are joined by none other than B Tazzy himself. We had a little joke before we started where I had just texted Tazzy and asked him if he was gonna join the stream this evening. And he just popped up as soon as I did. So I said, say his name, and he appears, I believe, in DJ B Tazzy. There he is. What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh man, kind of a good refreshing break yesterday. It was planned not to do Raw yesterday, and I was refreshed because we got a long day today, and I'm looking forward to like talking about what happened yesterday because let's just say I had to watch a video for me to catch up with everything. I think it started with a C. I forgot the rest of the name though.
I might have gone to that source earlier today myself. Shout out C Wrestling. Yeah, for real. No, but it's good to have you on. And Chris, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
Good, man. Good. I know as we typically do, we start out the show with memories. So I know you had a weekend that you want to talk about. So let's get to it. And whenever you want me to play the video, just let me know and I'll play it.
Okay. Yeah. So first off, I just want to mention, I don't know if anybody caught it, but yesterday was the 16th. It's been 4 months now since Jodie passed, but this weekend was awesome. I got to get away to Nashville, Tennessee with a few buddies of mine. Pretty much every year for the last 4 or 5 years, we've been doing like a yearly trip, going to a different IndyCar race around the country from different places. And so last year we went to Nashville. We went to Nashville again this year. So yeah, that was this weekend. Had an awesome time going to that race on Sunday. Went down there on Saturday too for practice qualifications and stuff. But had a couple things that really reminded me of Jodie on that trip that I wanted to share with you guys this week. So we were on Saturday. We were hanging out there, in between practice and qualifications and stuff. We're hanging out in the parking lot, tailgating, doing some drinking and stuff. Typical thing. And all of a sudden, my buddy Thomas notices down at my cup with my beer in it that I was drinking, and is like, "Dude, a firefly just landed on your cup." I'm like, "What?" I look down. Sure enough, I haven't seen fireflies in months. Like, they're pretty much gone by this time of year. They come out early summer and stuff, but haven't seen one for a while. So here I am in Tennessee, out hanging out at this racetrack with some buddies, and a firefly comes and lands right on my cup. Like, if that ain't crazy, I don't know what is. So that was awesome. I definitely feel like that was a little visit from Jodie there. And then later that night, we went, and after stuff was done at the track, we went and we're hanging out at this bar, just a local bar around where we were staying at. And it's crazy because this happened last year. When we went to Nashville, we went to a random bar, and the random band there played this song. Well, lo and behold, Saturday night, we're at some random bar with some random band, and they play this song. If somebody ever asked me, what would be the song that reminds you the most of Jodie? This is the song I would say. It's "Sweet Caroline," because they always played that at the Panthers games, and she was a huge Carolina Panthers fan. So yeah, here's a little video clip of the band playing that song.
All right, here we go.
Touching one, reaching out. Y'all ready? Touching me, touching you. Oh, sweet Caroline. Good times never seem so good, so good, so good. Yeah. Oh, that is mine.
That's awesome, man.
So yeah, that was just wild that definitely have those things to remind me of her this weekend.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I know that's a special feeling when you get those moments, man. So thank you again for sharing those moments with us and letting us have a part of that too. We greatly appreciate that. What are some other songs that band did? I'm just curious.
That band was incredible. They did all kinds of, stuff from like a couple '90s alternative songs. Like they played "Sex and Candy" by Marcy Playground. They did some like '70s and '80s stuff. Like, yeah, they were an awesome band. They played just all kinds of great songs that were good to sing along to and stuff like that.
That's awesome. I love going to a bar or like a local venue and hearing a local band. It's just something about that. So
That's a few times I've been to Nashville. That's been one of my favorite things. Just you can go to any bar there and hear awesome live music all the time. It's great.
yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So as we transition here, I see that we have a birthday. Before we get to the artwork, I just wanted to give a birthday shout out to John G. His birthday is today. And as we do on this channel, we have a little happy birthday thing. So happy birthday, John G. If it'll play. Happy birthday, John. Hope you have a good day, and thank you for joining us this evening. And thank everyone for joining us this evening. We greatly appreciate all of you being here. We're going to now go into our artwork, and I'm just going to continue to do this until I'm a pain in your behind. So if you're an artist or if you've seen some art that you think deserves to be highlighted on this channel, on this show, please send it to us. Please. We're begging. Please send it to us because we want to show it. We want people to see amazing artwork and all the wonderful creative people out there that take what we see on TV and with this storyline and lend their creativity to it. So I'm gonna start here and I'll make these larger. All right, so here we go. That is sick.
That too.
Yeah, it is.
Look at that. Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. This is awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the detail on all the hair.
Yeah. Yeah, the details in this are crazy. Awesome stuff. That's awesome too.
That was so funny. Dude met Jason Baker and didn't know it was Jason Baker. Like the dude that literally made the stuff you're wearing.
You're wearing, yeah.
Hey, I know that guy.
That's hilarious. All right, here we go. Here's the last one.
Ow. That's all I have to say about that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ouch. And you know what I just realized? We have 3 bald guys.
yeah. That's,
So we all can relate to how much that would hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. That would
It's
hurt.
like a bad cut or something on the forehead or something. I don't know. Like,
But that is awesome. And kudos to you. I apologize, my soundboard is just going crazy. But kudos to the person that got this because man, you're certified, we'll say.
Yeah.
Because that's
hardcore right there. I could never do that.
that's hardcore, and I salute you. I know when the sun is too hot on my head, I can't stand it. So
right? Yeah.
I'm getting a tattoo on this dome. I don't think I can do it. But yeah, so awesome stuff. Like I said, get us your artwork because we want to showcase it. If you have some tattoos, share them. Now here's where I'm gonna pull back on that just a little bit. They have to be of areas that can be shown on YouTube.
No R-rated
Typical.
stuff here.
Yeah, no R-rated, no X-rated. So just gonna throw that out there. Send us your tattoos, but make sure they're in a place where you don't mind people seeing it, and we won't get our channel banned. That's the that's the deal that we'll make. So, all right, James saying, why would you get that done in your melon dome?
What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's awesome though. It looks great.
Yeah.
I couldn't sit there and let them do that to me. I mean, I couldn't take it. I'll just be honest with you.
He got Kanye West.
Hey, and didn't Jamie Foxx have like a
Yeah.
man, yeah. Kudos to them. Good for them.
And he's like literally don't even have a bald head no more. He's actually have a fade again. I like
See,
so.
Yeah, for me personally, if I paid all that money to get my head tattooed, I'm not. I mean, first off, I can't grow hair on my head anyway, so.
Right.
But I wouldn't cover it up with hair. I can tell you that. It could be -30 outside, and like, hey, you need on a hat? Nope. It costs too much money.
Yeah,
I will catch a cold.
Yep, let me catch a cold. I'll get some medicine. All right, so we're gonna talk about last night. I guess let me start here before we get into everything. We'll start with Chris. Chris, what did you think about WWE bringing back the QR code and the clues that we got last night and doing something like that as opposed to us seeing the group on screen?
I thought it was really cool. I think it's great to, we've talked about it before. I like that they're not overusing them. They don't need to be on TV every week. It makes it more special when they're not. So using stuff like this is perfect. It still keeps people engaged in the story and what they're doing. It gets people love the, finding out all the clues and solving puzzles and stuff like they do with it. It gives you something fun to do, but while keeping them relevant on Raw without actually having to have them there. So I think it's a good way to transition. We're kind of transitioning a story now away from American made into who knows yet. So yeah, I feel like it's a good way to do that.
Yeah, Tazzy, what about you, man? What did you think about this? How they did it last night?
Well, first of all, I'm trying to get used to this. This microphone right here. I'm so used to like my glowing microphone right here, and and I look like a guy that's commentating now.
Yeah,
literally.
You need a press box.
Yeah,
right. I should have like the little curtain right there that have what's going on. That's crazy. I like the way they're actually doing the QR code, and they're only doing the QR code for certain reasons. They're not just, hey, let's put a QR code there, a QR code there. They're doing it because, well, they have to, and that's for the next. I guess we'll talk about this, the journal injury, and so that was perfect for that area of that. By the way, can WWE tell us when they're actually going to do it? I literally was about to walk and get a snack before. Like,
I was not ready. A QR code popped up. I'm like, I don't even have my phone out, my camera up,
literally
before I could even do it.
I was like, my phone was all charged and everything, and I'm like, literally breaking my neck to get the phone. I'm like, what, really?
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to get a heads up of like, hey, be on the lookout. We're about to do a little segment.
I guess now we know if we ever see any kind of imagery that could be related all to Wyatt Sicks, get your phone out, because now we know there could be a QR code anytime their image is on screen. So I do
So
think it's cool too that they're like, before with the White Rabbit stuff, it was something different every time. I think it's
Mhm.
neat that they're like keeping they went to the same, this like archive almost of things we've seen before, but added to it. So you can always go back and then read all this other stuff. It's still, there and available. They just keep adding more and more to it. That's kind of neat too.
man, yeah. Yeah, it is. I like this because like you said, to your point, Chris, you don't want to overuse them,
Mm-hmm.
and doing stuff like this, you can keep them relevant without always putting them in the crowd's face, because you still want there to be some type of mystique around this group. So we got a lot of imagery last night, a lot of different things. So this was one of the images that we got last night. And then we go into some words. And I'm actually gonna make this full screen if that's okay with you guys
Mm-hmm.
as we go through some of this. So even now the words of the red grow stronger. Tazzy, what did you think when you got this?
Even the words of the red girl stronger. I have no idea. It's like I love that we don't know, because it's like, oh, we'll figure out. I guess we'll figure it out eventually what that means. And it's like, even now the words of the red grow stronger. It's like I don't know. And I'm like sitting here like I pieced the puzzle even with the whole C wrestling video. I'm like we don't know. It's like I'm gonna write it down, and then if something pop up where it's like, hey, that's what that meant. I'm like, okay,
I said that before. I've always took that to mean Bray because he was
Yeah.
always said he's
yeah,
color red in a world full of black and white.
yeah, big.
Yep.
He says love red and everything. So yeah, that's the only thing I could think of right there, because otherwise, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris, and you were saying that, bringing up Bray, how he always said he was the color red in a world full of black and white.
Mm-hmm. Well, and plus we've seen, recently that Bo has said several times, my life for you. We're pretty sure that he's talking about Bray, that he's going to do whatever Bray asks of him to do. So I think that's like he's to me, this tells me that he's connecting more and more with Bray somehow, on some level, and Bray is telling him more and more things to do.
Yeah. Then we get this next one. Whispers like 1,000 voices. Chris, what are your thoughts on this one?
That one I'm not sure about. I mean, that one could go a lot of ways. Like, I've seen some people talk about me that's talking about Randy because his theme song is called Voices, and he always talks about hearing a bunch of voices in his head. So that's a possibility. Or maybe it's just talking about how Bo, obviously we know he hears Howdy's voice in his head. He hears Bray's voice in his head. Who knows what other voices he may have hear in his head? Maybe Uncle Harper, that we haven't seen yet, but we know is out there.
Yeah. This next one, screaming in silence. Tazzy.
I'm sitting here and I'm like trying to piece this. Screaming in silence. There can be, oh man, I don't know. It's like, oh man, it's like riddles and things like that, and it's like screaming in silence. The only thing I can think of is like we would just talk about like voices in the head. That's the only thing I can think of. Like there's screaming voices in your head, and it's silent. That's the only thing I can think of. The only thing that can make sense, right?
I was wondering if that might refer to, we've seen a couple of the videos of Bo in the old funhouse, but it's all dark and nothing there now. I wonder if it could be like that. Like
Yeah. Like screaming into a void.
Mm-hmm.
Almost. Deanna saying, well, James's comment is funny. He says, "I have no effing clue." Deanna saying, not all the voices have to scream loudly to be heard. And then Clown saying, "Screaming in silence. You're in pain, but no one is listening." That's where my mind went.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where my mind went initially with this. Then this next one, guiding the knife until our hands are one in the same. Chris, give me your thoughts, man.
That made me think of like that, like him and Bray together. Like Bray is pointing out the targets to them of who deserves to be punished. And so that's what I thought of when I saw that. Maybe the Bray is guiding Bo's hand. They're trying to join together, and he's trying to avenge, Bray for whatever people that did wrong to him, maybe.
Yeah. And then this one I want to chat about, and then I have a question for you guys and the chat. But this one, you speak, we follow. So Taz, are you thinking that, kind of like along the same lines of Chris, Bo, Uncle Howdy, whoever is getting direction from Bray?
That's exactly what this is. It's basically. I don't want to be. Nobody beat me up for this. All right, because I already know how it's going to go. But it's basically like Bray is like the higher power. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And they're literally following his lead, and
He's
that's
their
what I'm getting.
guiding force.
Exactly. So I would not be shocked at you seeing not only Uncle Howdy, but probably some former Bray Wyatt faces come back into the fold. A certain white face or a certain guy with a nice looking hat. I would not be shocked if we see those when they start doing the revenge part of the story. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris, give me your thoughts, man. What you kind of thinking along those same lines?
Yeah, I think that Bo is he's in this place where he's just like, like you said, the way he keeps repeating "my life for you." I think he's just, laying down his life in act of service to Bray. Like he's willing to go and do whatever must be done to honor his brother.
Yeah. Yeah. And my question is, and this is for you guys and everyone in the chat. So I think sometimes wrestling companies have a tendency to over explain or overshow things and feel the need to explain absolutely everything and give us a visual of it. And that happens a lot in all entertainment, I think. But with this in particular, would you want them to show or discuss how they are communicating with Bray? And we'll start with Chris on this one, then go to Tazzy.
That's a really interesting question. Because I feel like part of me says, yes, I do want to know. But then part of me says no, because one of the things that I feel like all of us would say we love so much about Bray all throughout his career was the mystery. That we didn't understand everything he said. A lot of it I feel like was left up to our own interpretation. I like that. So I don't know. That's a really tough one. But then again, I don't know. I guess I would say depending on how they do it, it could be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, they show something of like Bo talking into the lantern and it like changing brightness or flickering. Like that could be cool if they show it like something like that. To it, but so I don't know. I feel like I guess it kind of depends on that how they would go about it, but I'm totally okay if they don't.
Okay. Tazzy, what do you think?
Not right now. I mean, eventually, yes. It's probably be the if it's needed. I don't think it's more of a good story if you just wait for that moment where it's like, oh, so that's why. Oh, okay. It's I'll be just like that on the stream, like, hey, okay, I'm with it. I'm with it. And if it's like 4 or 5 months from now, I'm totally down because I have a feeling one of the big storylines is going to get close to WrestleMania time. So, yeah, just wait, Patience, my friends, patience.
Yeah. I think I'm there with Chris. I think in terms of how it's done, I don't need to necessarily see it, but I think it all depends on how they do it. I mean, it can be little intricate details, nothing that's overt or anything. James Chadwick is saying, playing devil's advocate again, does it risk of going into the supernatural realm by doing that? Bo taking his cue from Bray.
Yeah, I can see that. If now they're kind of skirting around it. You kind of get that without them really saying it. But yeah, I can see that it may be a little too supernatural.
Yeah.
Or it could be kind of more of a spiritual. If that makes sense. It was it's everything. Spiritual is weird no matter what, right? So if you do it that way and you explain it this is the time when you do explain that. You explain that, hey, this is not supernatural. This is more of a spiritual thing. And yeah, I'm totally with that.
Let's see here. Clown saying, if they do, it's going to end up like Stranger Things when the mom talked to the kid with the flickering Christmas lights. Only it's the lantern that will flicker. Yeah. So we talked about a QR code. We got that. I know I'm going to probably have these all out of order, and I apologize. We're just going to go through these images. We'll spend a little more time on some than others, but then I really want to break this down and then talk about what we think is next. So I'll just go through some of the images that we got real quick. Let's see here. We'll go to this one.
So that one was a new one, and it had coordinates down in the bottom right-hand corner.
Yep.
And some people figured out, and one of the images there I know has, where the coordinates lead to.
Yeah, and I'll make that big again. So brothers. Brothers.
Interesting.
Which we also got another word that means brother.
Learn something new every day.
Learn something new every day. I had no clue.
I think it was Latin for brother.
Yeah. And I don't want to butcher it, so I'm not going to. But just know it means brother. But I wanted to take a little more time because I know we got this last one here that was posted by WWE. Can you keep a secret? And then that got some wheels turning, I think. And the question that I think arose in everyone's mind, especially after we got the what folks figured out was a Bible verse. So again, shout out to C Wrestling and so many other folks that piece all these things together. So we got a Bible verse. Which one was it again, Chris?
Luke 10:25-37. It's the parable of the Good Samaritan.
Yep. And I'm going to make that bigger. Still probably can't read it, but that's the best that I got right now. So Chris, do you mind just kind of breaking this down a little bit for folks? And
sure.
Then we got a couple other images that we'll get to, but just I'll turn it over to you so you can break this down a little bit for folks.
Yeah. So basically, someone got God about, or asked Jesus about, how you're supposed to obey the law and things, and how you can, what you can do to inherit eternal life. And Jesus starts talking and tells a story, a parable about this guy basically gets robbed and beat up. They take everything he has and just leaves him for dead on the side of the road. And a couple different people pass by and don't stop and help him. They just walk on by and pretend like they didn't see him. But a third guy comes by, a Samaritan man, and came and stopped and helped him, bandaged his wounds, took him to put him on his donkey and brought him to a local inn, paid for him to be taken care of and stuff. And, just basically went out of his way to do everything he could to take care of this guy. And Jesus told the guy that that's the way we should be like. We should be that person that goes out of the way to help somebody. That's how you inherit eternal life.
And I want to ask you, I want to stay with you, Chris, here, because I want to ask how you feel this ties in to the storyline and what you think they're conveying here through storyline.
I don't know. It's interesting. I've been thinking about that, trying to figure out how this ties in. And one thought I had was that maybe that's how the Wyatt Sicks see themselves. They see themselves that they're actually helping people, because they're punishing people for doing wrong. So by doing that, they're actually helping that person, because they're trying to get them to get away from the evil they had done.
Tazzy, I want to get your thoughts on this too, man. How do you think this all ties in?
The same, and there's you can see that with the American Made storyline, with the you see what Chad Gable did to his former family, and apparently the Wyatt Sicks didn't like it, and they went to attack Chad Gable and everything like that. And they basically think they saved, well, not saved them, but they did they right the wrong of that. And I have a feeling there's one. It's gonna look like two storylines that's gonna like this about to happen. If that making any sense. One is there's a certain group that just wronged two people from their group.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like they're in the wrong. So I have a feeling that we might have a group versus group again. This time is going to be kind of very interesting. If I'm foreshadowing this.
I think you might be on to something there. So I also wanted to go back to a couple things that we got from the QR code and different images that we got. So we see this this filled out, my life for you, I lay down my life for you. And then we get this. So, Chris, I'm just gonna ask this. Do you think any of this means that we're getting a new member of the Wyatt Sicks?
I see a lot of people jumping to that. Personally, I don't think this necessarily means that. It could, but I don't think it's a given or anything that this means we're getting a new member. Like the other thing that you showed there a minute ago, it said like, we're here for you if you need help. I think that could be them referring to Braun, reaching out to him, but I don't know. He doesn't mean he's going to say yes, and he's already said no to him before. So I don't think that this necessarily means that we're getting another member. It could lead to that, but maybe not.
Tazzy, your thoughts, my friend?
Yeah. Same. It's crazy because one of the storylines in the past was Bray tried to recruit Braun before, and he already said no.
Mm-hmm.
So could this possibly doing this again and seeing maybe he'll say yes and or maybe this is a big possibility. Maybe he gets beat up so bad towards somebody, a certain other monster,
Certain big guy.
the other big guy that is, yeah, that he's like, you know what, I yes, I need help. Help me out. This by the way, this would be perfect for perfect storyline for Halloween time. By the way,
Yeah. Well, it's coming at about the right time.
uh-huh.
Did you guys catch what that is a reference to? What that line is from?
No, tell us.
So that "Do you know why you're afraid when you're alone" is from the movie Sixth Sense, and this image on the thing was even called, like, the name of the file is "I do," which is what the character in Sixth Sense says after that.
Man, the depth of this.
Oh, and
Alicia,
that one picture with the notebook that had the Bible verse on it.
yeah,
The title of that image on the website was Arbun, Arbun, which is an anagram for brawn.
LeBron. Yep.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Alicia saying before they might be saying love thy neighbor, and if not, suffer the consequences. Steve, what's up, Steve? Saying I hope he joins. He needs to let the monster out. Deanna saying Braun needs Howdy to unleash the monster again. Jesse Callan, what's up, Jesse? How are you? Hopefully you're doing well. All right, so I'm just gonna ask this because I want to know what this darn secret is, so I can figure out if yeah, C talked about we were talking about watching that in C's video earlier, Jesse. Shout out to C Wrestling. His
As always, shout out to C. He helps us out a lot on this show.
Yeah, I tend to like miss things when I'm actually watching the rest of the show.
Thank goodness there's a show for if things you might have missed.
That's right.
Just saying.
If you're not subscribed to C Wrestling, go do it. Especially if you are into the Wyatt Sicks and more of the Bray lore. He's your guy. He's your go-to.
Oh yeah.
So go subscribe. Deanna saying Jeff is Braun says, can you keep a secret? So here we go. So I'm just gonna ask it. If you had to add a member, and I'll start with Tazzy and then we'll go to Chris. Let's say they are adding a member. If you had to add a member, who would you pick and why?
Man. I mean, the obvious choice is Braun, but let me go back. Let me think about this. If they throw a curveball at us, and if it's not Braun, it's Bronson Reed. That would be the question. Is what kind of character would he be? What kind of monster would he be?
Right.
And I'm going back to actually what he was in NXT. I'm trying to remember the stuff he had on his shoulders and everything. I don't like you could go that route, or oh man, I have well, I would say this guy, but no, I think that's gonna be a feud in the future. The New Testament, that's gonna be a feud that they're gonna have in the future with that group. Yeah, it's either for surely going to be Braun, or it's going to be a curveball with Bronson Reed.
All right. So before I get to you, Chris, just want to read out a few comments. Jesse saying Braun, he's part of the family, a technical, almost original part. Deanna saying, if I'm going family alone, Braun, but otherwise, what about Otis?
That's a curveball.
That is a curveball, and I like that curveball.
Mhm.
Jesse saying the anagram was definitely Braun, though. Yeah, it definitely was. I'm just trying to stir the pot a little bit and get some. um, and Mark, we're talking about Braun Strowman. Let's see. Clown saying the whole point of the new family was to gather the forgotten. Bliss and Braun have never been forgotten. True.
Mhm.
Barry Monkey from Twitch. Hello, Barry Monkey. Saying Tatum Paxley, a second woman.
Hmm.
So, Chris, I want to throw it over to you. Let me get your thoughts on some of the names that we heard from the chat, and then Tazzy, after Chris talks about his who he picked, then I'd like to get your thoughts on some of the names in the chat. So, Chris, take it away.
Yeah, there's definitely some interesting ones there. Otis is clever. I wouldn't have thought about that. Bronson Reed could be cool because he's just so destructive. But I will tell you, if I'm gonna add a member to the Wyatt Sicks, I will tell you who I would add. Uncle Harper. And the reason I say that is because this image right here really got me thinking. WWE posting, can you keep a secret? Well, let's remember back to the last time we heard, can you keep a secret? The last
Mhm.
episode of the Firefly Funhouse, before Bray was off TV, we heard that. So that tells me that Bray was working on a secret back then that we never found out. And now WWE is bringing it up again. And we always knew there was another character that they filed a trademark for. We never found out who it was, and that's Uncle Harper. So I think the sixth member needs to be Uncle Harper. Now, whoever that is, maybe Braun is portraying Uncle Harper. Maybe it's Joe Gacy. We've talked about a little bit about that before. Maybe it's a third version of Bo. Yeah, maybe he is Uncle Howdy and Uncle Harper. We don't know, but that's where I think it needs to go.
Yeah, I like that. Tazzy, before I get your thoughts on some of these names in the chat, I just want to read off a few. By the way, got to add a late addition here. Steve bringing up Matt Cardona. If he returns.
That's interesting.
Clown saying, if they want a monster and someone who has been forgotten, Omos. That
He's
is
definitely been forgotten.
He has been forgotten. Jesse saying, seeing Otis in the six would be the most interesting thing ever. It's so opposite him, but he actually was one of the ones who recognized he was witnessing greatness back when Bray started the whole Fiend and Funhouse gimmick. Alicia saying, think about the different people the Fiend attacked over the years, like Seth Rollins, Randy Orton. All good, Jesse. We don't count off for spelling. Craig saying, I say Baron Corbin is Uncle Harper.
I'm
Wow.
such a huge Baron Corbin fan. I would mark out over that. And he's definitely been underutilized and forgotten.
Deanna saying, that's what I was thinking, Chris. What if Rowan is Harper?
Yeah, Rowan could be another option. He already has, the other side of his mask. Maybe he flips it around and he's Uncle Harper.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, Tazzy.
That Baron Corbin thing, that's intriguing. You know why?
That's intriguing, right?
The dude is like us. The reason he's bald, he cut all his hair out, is because he couldn't grow it in certain spots. What if he actually let that grow a little bit and bring back a little bit of the Uncle or Luke Harper type of character into that? He's if I'm not mistaken, he has did some Flamo stuff before and all that. I think he could pull it off, honestly. Let's keep it real. Yeah. Look, Alicia said carry across. I was thinking about that, and I was like, I think
I'd rather see Karrion Kross
with
as a
the
feud for the Wyatt Six. I think that would be better. Personally.
exactly that's my point, and that probably would help Karrion Kross because I'm saying this now, and I'm not saying this because the dude is my boy. He is going to be a champion before his time is up in WWE. He will be a world or WWE champion. It was just bad timing when he was doing the storylines.
He was fantastic in NXT. Amazing.
Right. And with NXT, you don't have to really do a lot of storylines in NXT. You can just go there. I'm gonna beat you for the title. That's basically how NXT is. Basically the same thing. And the same thing with the in it. I would love. I know this is going off the strip. I would love for him to go back to TNA one more time. Just to like, hey, hey, let me get that title shot that I never got. Just saying. But yeah, I think he's probably needs to stay away from that and stay him. Maybe we get and I know Jeff knows this. Maybe we get to bring back the Killer Cross mask during the feud. Maybe we get that. That probably will help the character out better. I don't know. We should be
I feel like a feud with the Wyatt Six is exactly what Karrion Kross needs right now. He needs something to get him back. I don't know. It's just nothing they've tried. Has really worked out for him, and it's not his fault. I don't feel like he's a great wrestler. Does great promos and everything. It just nothing has really clicked right. But I feel like this is something that could.
And I see. I'm looking at like Triple H is trying to find something. It's like he's trying to find something that clicks because he know he can wrestle. He know he's good in the ring, and a lot of people are saying he's not good in the ring. But he have to hold things back. Sometimes you got to hold things back to actually, make things very successful. So yeah. Other than that, I have no idea.
Well, you mentioned TNA, and I got to bring this comment up because it's hilarious and I love it. And yeah, I want to know where this guy is too. Barry Monkey saying the greatest wrestler of all time that TNA has forgotten, Johnny Swinger. My answer to any wrestling question.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. Jeff saying I love Omos as a person, but I would wonder if he could perform at the level of the rest of the members. Throw aside mic skills since he doesn't need them. His in-ring still needs work. Jeremy saying I think that they might be recruiting people to help, but not join the group. Just make himself whole by helping. Okay.
That's a good point. Not necessarily everybody has to be a part of the group.
Right. They can just be an ally. Deanna saying, what if Howdy reminds Cross of who he is?
I like that.
All right. Let's see here. Were you saying where would that leave Scarlett if Karrion Kross join? I'd say, hey, if they want to add another woman.
Yeah. I want to see Scarlett wrestle. So if that gets her to wrestle, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Me too.
She's pretty good in the ring. Just saying.
Yeah, she is. Yep. So, man, this hour always goes by so fast. But I just want to ask as we start to wrap things up. I'll start with Tazzy here. What do you think is next, and what would you like to be next for the Wyatt Sicks?
Ooh. I am very intrigued with the I hope they do a few in NXT, by the way. That'd be very awesome. And I can see it happening, especially around Halloween Havoc. Right, makes it Makes a lot of time. A lot of time. By the way, we will be having Halloween Happy here on the channel. Anyway, had to stick it in. I think the Wyatt Sicks versus the Judgment Day is probably the next thing. Especially as that storyline with the former members are still going on. They've probably been like, we can help you out. We got you. Because we know what they did to you. That's wrong. Let's help you out. And any help is good help. Let's keep it real. So yeah, I think that's going to happen. And as a Brian, I think the Brian is probably the best choice. The question is, will he be Uncle Harper, or is it the return of the black sheep?
That's good question to land on there with him. Chris, same question, man. What do you think is next for the Wyatt Sicks, and what do you hope to see next for them?
It seems like they either may be moving to SmackDown or going to be doing something on SmackDown, because we're seeing a lot of Pluto symbols showing up on SmackDown behind SmackDown people recently. So that definitely seems like it could be a possibility. I would like we were just talking about. I swear I would love to see this feud with Cross, and it seems like it would be a good time too, because it seems like he's kind of wrapped up stuff with the New Day. He planted that seed in Woods, and now it seems like Woods is going to turn on Kofi, but now he's kind of out of the picture, so it doesn't seem like he has anything going on now. So I feel like it would be a good place to maybe do something like that, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what's next. I really am, and I think if they can kind of spread things out and have stuff like we got last night, and then mix it in with the appearances, I think that would be awesome. Let me bring up another comment here. This is from Craig saying Judgment Day, they help Priest and Rhea at War Games. So that would be interesting. So let's see. Jesse saying Judgment Day makes sense, but I think it depends on if they ate Braun first. And I wonder if they get another female, probably Alexa, and the ladies go after the tag titles to be on both brands. A C idea. You know, since we've seen the logo behind the multiple women's tag teams over the weeks. Yeah, I think that's a good point too. We have seen that logo showing up at different times, and looks like that's a target. So this could be a huge curveball. All right, so we're gonna get final thoughts. Tazzy has put his link in the chat for the NXT watch along this evening. So Tazzy, I'll turn it over to you. Final thoughts, and then we'll go to Chris. But tell folks what you got coming up on the channel, and any final thoughts that you got.
Well, that's a lot. That's a mouthful. Now, I am very intrigued of how what the next storyline is. It could be something that we are not even talking about.
Could be.
Yeah, we're like sitting here like we're talking about this, and like it just throw a complete here's that one ball, or here's that thing again, the curveball thing. Could they end up in NXT like we just said? Sorry, not NXT, SmackDown. You know what I meant.
We got you.
I don't know. It's like I whatever it is, I say this a lot. I really say this. Patience. It's patience with storylines like this. We were semi patient with the Bloodline storyline. Let's be patient with this, because it could come up with something big. And I am so happy that this is part one, the second I guess you can say this is the second biggest storyline that WWE has that going on right now. And I'm happy that it's on a different show. And here's the kicker part to this. It's on Raw. That it's going to Netflix, which is about to be uncensored. It's going to be crazy. So I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of that, don't forget to join us for. I already got the link out for NXT. We will start at 7:45 p.m. Maybe. we might start early. I need to get something in my stomach first before we do anything. And then make sure you guys we actually have one new co-host member, if you can say. Money Jeff is now officially part of the group, so he will more likely will do the SmackDown on Friday, and that will start at 7:30. After that, once next week hits, you guys got me fully for the rest of the year. You guys got me fully, and I am looking forward to it. Just a matter, remind you that our next PLE will be on the channel is going to be Bad Blood, which is going to be huge. So make sure you guys know that it starts super early than normal. Just a heads up on that. I think it starts at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So a heads up on that. And we got a lot more. We got football. We got football every Sunday. We got a bunch of stuff. How about that?
Lots going on the channel. Make sure you go support Tazzy and subscribe to his channel. Go check out NXT with him tonight. It's going to be another good show. Looks like a lot of good stuff on there. So go check it out with Tazzy. All right, Chris, send us home.
I think we're going to find out sooner rather than later what's going to happen, because like we talked about last week, there was a little teaser in the Bad Blood promo of Uncle Howdy in it. So I think that we'll either have a new feud set up by then with a match at Bad Blood, or they'll be attacking someone at Bad Blood. So definitely looking forward to Bad Blood.
Yeah, I think we could get some interesting things.
Maybe another massacre.
Yeah.
It's Bad Blood.
True. True. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for the conversation this evening. It's always fun to be on here with you all. And it's fun to get all the questions and comments and everything from the chat. So thank all of you for joining us this evening. We will be back on Thursday for TNA, and that should be really good too, especially coming off the heels of a great Victory Road special on last Friday. That was amazing. So we'll see what happens. And I want to know who's the next person that's going to take a clothesline from hell. That's what I want to know. Because JBL, John Layfield, has been just wrecking shop everywhere he's shown up. So that's been cool to see. Yeah, I want to see what happens next. And Joe Hendry did beat Josh Alexander. So, and he beat him with an ankle lock, which is amazing.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. And if you didn't see it, very reminiscent of the moment that happened at the NXT PLE between Joe Hendry and Ethan Page, where Ethan hit a low blow. Except this time it was with Josh, and this time Joe Hendry was prepared. Not only did he have a cup on, but his face was on the cup. All I gotta say.
Very intriguing.
But yeah, so join us on Thursday, 7:45 p.m. Eastern for that. We're starting a little earlier now because we're starting with the app. We're watching it on the app every week. So that starts right at 8 o'clock. So join us at 7:45 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, and then we'll be back again next Sunday for Between the Ropes, which we haven't been able to do this many of those shows in quite some time. So it's cool because that's kind of how we got our start on the channel and kind of doing our thing. And then we got all these other things that we're doing now, which is great. We're probably going to add some stuff in the future, but which I just reminded myself about the segue. There we go. There's a reason why I did that. Drop a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit that post notification bell so you know when we have future content. So that's why I did that, because I never remember that screen or to tell people to like the video or subscribe,
Same.
that kind of thing. So
Same.
So we're gonna get out of here. Tazzy is gonna be on shortly for NXT. He's got to get some grub first. So
Notifications. Turn on the notifications.
that's right.
Start early.
That's right. He might start
Yeah.
early. So
CM Punk's gonna be on NXT tonight. I forgot about
Just
that.
saying.
yeah.
I think he said he
All
had a
right.
great announcement too.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Mhm.
this is gonna be a good NXT, good episode to join Tazzy and watch along. So we're gonna head out though. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. We appreciate you all being here, contributing to the conversation, giving us your theories and ideas, and we greatly appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you again on Thursday for our TNA watch along, but if not, we'll see you again next week. Fireflies forever. Take care, everyone.